Are you always distracted when you're reading the Bible, or do you often lose your focus during your reading time? In this video, we will share with you 4 tips to help you overcome distractions when reading the Bible. Let's check it out! Hi, my name is Casey.
And I'm Stella.
And welcome to the Christian Expats.
In this channel, we share tips and tools to make the most out of your Christian life here and abroad. So, if you're new here, consider subscribing. Staying focused on a single task is a challenge, especially for expats. Our everyday is filled with tasks that we often find it hard to allot time for Bible reading. And most often than not, when we read the Bible, our focus tends to shift to other things like your laundry, your to-do list, your work, family issues. These tips will help in overcoming this distraction. So let's start with tip number 1. Start with a prayer and worship song. When we read the Bible, we are actually spending time with its author. This is a set apart time to hear God's word, to meditate on it, and know more of God. And what's a better way to start this is to ask help from God to keep us focused on Him as we read and to help us with the possible distractions.
For me, what I do when I pray is I mention to God all the things that usually take my focus away. And I ask Him what is His message for me for the day. Praying takes us in a humble position and reminds us that apart from God, we can do nothing. And one more thing that can help us in focusing more on God during our Bible reading time is to simply sing or listen to worship songs. Doing this will help us set our minds that we are about to read God's Word. We go to tip number 2. Disconnect. We are living in a very distracted generation. Technology has our mind shifting from one thing to another, especially when we shift from one social media to another. Not to mention that as an expat, we really do have a very long to-do list.
One thing that really helps is when we put away our mobile phones when we are reading. It is very tempting to just take a peek on our phone without noticing we are scrolling up and down on every feed and totally forgetting that we are reading. If you know that you will be distracted by your phone, then simply put it away. We want to just focus on God when we read His Word. We would want to make the most out of our quiet time by simply disconnecting from the social media world. That's why we strongly suggest not to use an electronic Bible, but rather a physical one when you're doing your personal Bible reading.
So before we proceed, we want to know what type of Bible you are using for your personal reading. Let us know in the comment section below. We go to tip number 3. Develop a routine. For me, it took a couple of months before I developed my own Bible reading routine. I read the Bible during the morning whenever my mind is fresh and clear. I have a small table, and so whenever I sit there, it's like my mind is being conditioned that I'm about to read God's Word. So I suggest that you pick up a time and a place and do your best to show up. If you don't feel like reading the Bible, to develop a discipline, do it anyway. If you are having a hard time in starting to read the Bible, we made a video on this. We link it on the card and the description below, so go check it out.
Now we go to tip number 4. Cancel the noise. Another thing that easily distracts us is when we hear other people's conversation, construction in your neighborhood, your roomie playing loud songs, or your housemate who is playing Mobile Legends. UAE expats can easily relate to these scenarios due to accommodation setting in this country. It's best to invest in a noise-canceling headphone or earphone, or you can use your regular headset and listen to a non-distracting music, such as instrumental or a familiar song on loop.
Our lives can be so busy that we lose focus on essential things in our Christian life, such as reading the Bible. We get anxious about so many things. In Luke 10 verses 41 to 42, we see Martha being busy with so many things. Her focus is on her to-do list of the day. On the other hand, we see Mary sitting at the feet of Jesus, having her focus on his teachings. In this scene, Jesus compliments Mary for choosing the good portion which will not be taken away from her.
So that's it. Question of the day. What are your tips in overcoming distraction when you read the Bible? We would also want to hear from you.
If you want to see more videos like this, please subscribe and hit the notification bell to keep you posted.
Bye! God bless!
So before we proceed,